I can read it out.
And we're live. Hi, y'all. Howdy, y'all. Man, I'm off today. Howdy, y'all. I'm Rational Outlaw, and you're watching Rational News Live. Today, I have my guests with me. Introduce yourselves, guys. Southern?
Howdy, I'm Southern Wolf.
And Cracker?
I'm the Critical Cracker, and I'm going to put in your pooper.
All right, today's topic is our main topic is no bullshit and hi, I think I'm real. But to start, we're gonna go over some articles that we each have. Why don't you start, Cracker?
My article is about should game journalists be good at games? This came out a few days ago. There's been an incident where this one, I believe it was a Porygon reviewer, was doing a gameplay, and he was just awful. Now, should I read the whole article or just summarize?
Probably go through it. Whatever you think. Why don't you? Can you screen cap it?
No, not for my phone.
Okay. Well, I sent it into the chat, so if anyone wants to look at it, you guys can.
Yeah. So pretty much, the article's about Cuphead reignites the game journalists should be good at games debate, which this shouldn't even be an issue, because if you're a journalist and you review games, you should be at least semi-decent at video games. You know, it's like you need to have an understanding about the community and the culture on top of whatever game you're playing. You don't have to be super awesome, amazing at it, but you still have to be decent. And a lot of these critics are just terrible. Terrible. Just there's literally 30 minutes footage of this guy trying to beat the tutorial level. Tutorial level. Hold on one second. Let's see. Let me get the guy's name here. Give me 1 second. A video uploaded by tech website VentureBeat shows off one of its employees struggling to do just that. Play the tutorial. Taken from Cuphead's Gamescom 2017 demo, the video sees game beat lead writer Dean Takahashi struggling with just about everything the game throws at him. He experiences difficulty in attempting to jump on a high platform in the opening tutorial. Just to let you guys know, the game itself is like an old cartoon retro platformer. It's difficult, so kind of like Metroid Prime, kind of the old school Super Metroid, difficult, but it's not impossible. Back to the article. He routinely bumps into enemies running towards him. He falls down a hole to his death. The resulting footage is hilarious, playing out like a 16-minute slapstick comedy sketch in which poor Cuphead is forced to meet his demise over and over again. So this video has just been shared among the gaming community, and everyone's been ripping him apart, because you have to be, when you're critiquing something interactive like video games, you have to be knowledgeable about the subject and somewhat decent at it. Like, I'm not going to say a gun review if the guy's not a good shooter and knows what the hell he's talking about. I'm not going to take his review of the next big rifle seriously. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
the people who drive cars for a living, they have to be something decent in order to understand what they're critiquing. It's the same kind of mindset. And a lot of people were defending this guy, and it's just they were blaming Gamergate and all this crap, and
Like normal.
pretty much it's at the point where people are just laughing in their faces because you have to be decent at said video game in order to review said video game. Because what if this person reviews this a platformer and it's a really good game, but he was terrible at it, so he gives it an awful score. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not only but the gameplay, but the story and all the mechanics that fit into the game. It's a problem. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I would agree, because if this is your job, you kind of have to be at least halfway decent at it. You can't just like be complete shitty to games if this is your job. Sorry about that. My phone went off.
It was a dick pic I said to you.
But yeah, I mean,
What do you think?
I have to agree with Rational on that, because I mean, it's sort of the issue like you see with the regular media too, is you see people that are not experienced in the field they're reporting in, but they were simply hired just because, you know, they were good at basically creating what they needed to, and that problem is especially prevalent in games journalism. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, there's been criticisms of the game journal industry since the 90s. At least I remember seeing some old things talking about the 90s is when issues with that started cropping up, and it's only just gotten worse since then.
Yeah, I think the major issue is fallout from Gamergate, where the writers are not doing what they're supposed to and not having common decency to write honest reviews and getting money from companies to give them better reviews, and then have these fourth-way feminist douchebags come in and try to flip the narrative.
A la Anita Sarkeesian, anyone?
Right. She even says herself that she hates video games and she doesn't like playing them. Then if you don't like playing video games, why are you critiquing them? You know what I mean? I don't get it.
Because it's an easy field to get into with a lot of money possible to those that can, you know, write stories that can become popular, whether they're true or not.
Right. So that's my article. Take it how you leave it. But I think Gamergate is still not over. As a community, we need to come together and just say, hey, look, we're not going to put up with these practices, especially when a greedy corporation gets their hooks in certain reviewers. Like, I don't bother going to Porygon anymore because it reads like a leftist, rag. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They try to make politics and video games. Okay? They try to mash that shit together, and a lot of people just want to play games to escape the bullshit.
It's like that with to my knowledge, all the game journal websites are like that. And it's also like that a lot with tech sites too. Like I used to love reading tech sites like Engadget and a whole bunch of others like that, but I just gave up during the election cycle because all it was just political story after political story after political story. And I just got tired of it. It's like, I don't care. I don't want to see about politics, my technology news. I want to see about technology, not politics. I get enough of that during the day as it is.
I want to know when the next Half-Life 3 is coming out.
Exactly.
Like, I want to know what the upcoming games are. I want to know, what are what the best companies in the business are doing and who's going where. And, is Death Stranding ever going to come out?
Yeah, I don't want to see what some obscure game developer from that company is complaining about, a certain presidential candidate's, policies on ecology or whatever else.
No. Notch is actually pretty funny on a lot of this stuff. he's actually very wealthy from selling Minecraft, and
Yes, I know.
he
I
does
help contribute to his funds.
he definitely is more political, and he's I believe he's more on our side of the shitty practices that are plaguing the said community. It's a lot like what's going on with the skeptic community, where people are, you know, disingenuous of, you know, when they make a video about something and not telling the full facts or not having any evidence to back them up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm just sick to death of feminists. Like, we all need to be diversity. I'm like, we don't need diversity in a fucking fantasy game. I want to be a half orc that slays elves. You know what I mean? We don't need that shit. We don't need it. We don't want it.
Nope.
Because video games is about escaping reality, not including it in.
Exactly.
You know? Just if I wanted to, you know, experience white privilege, I'd play one of those stupid feminist games.
Play Gone Home.
Right? Or white privilege, you play The Sims and make all like black characters and then put them all in a swimming pool and then remove the ladder and then make a black cemetery.
Oh, that's just mean.
And all the black characters are named Watermelon. I'm sorry, I'm terrible. I'm a terrible person. I'm going to hell.
Oh, by the way, Satan just told me that he's going to be a bit because he has something he has to do, so he'll be in later.
Okay.
Where's the other guy? Wasn't he able to make it?
Who?
Rational Insanity or something.
Rational Insanity.
What's his name? The other guy.
The guy with the blue avatar.
The
Insane. Yeah, he's got a date with his girlfriend or something. Anyways, he can't make it today.
Bros before hoes, man. I am disappointed. We can get that booty later. Alright. Do you want to switch to another?
Why don't we go on to the what else do we want to go? Next article that we have?
Yeah, let's go
Better
ahead.
go to the main topic.
We can. No, I would rather wait till Satan gets here for the big topic because he knows more about no bullshit than I do.
Okay.
That's no bullshit.
So, you want to go on to my article or yours, Southern?
You can go on to yours.
All right. Okay, so let me send the article to everyone in the chat. There you guys go. You guys can check it out. Let me see if I can screen cap this as well, or whatever it's called, what you do. Screen share, that's what it's called. Okay. Let me see if I can. You guys all see it good? Hello?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
You got a lot
Okay.
of windows open, man.
Yeah, I do. All right. Betsy DeVos says she will rewrite rules on campus sexual assault. Saying the Obama administration approach to policing campus sexual assault had failed too many students. Education Secretary Betsy DeVos said on Tuesday that her administration would rewrite the rules in an effort to protect the victims of sexual assault and the accused. Ms. DeVos did not say what changes she had in mind, but in a strongly worded speech, she made clear she believed that in an effort to protect victims, the previous administration had gone too far and forced colleges to adopt procedures that sometimes deprived accuse students of their rights. Through intimidation and coercion, the failed system has clearly pushed schools to overreach, she said in an address to George Mason University in suburban Arlington, is that Virginia? I guess Virginia. With the heavy hand of Washington tipping the balance of her scale, the sad reality is that Lady Justice is not blind on campus today. And okay, advocates for the assault victims reacted strongly and swiftly, as did Ariana Duncan. Who the heck is that? Whoever.
That was
who
Obama's education secretary.
Oh, well, but when I was going through Obama, I never really paid attention. I've only recently started getting more into politics, so I wouldn't know who that person was. Who was education secretary during most of Obama's administration. The administration wants to take us back to the days when college is swept sexual.
You're breaking up a lot, man.
I am?
He's fine on my end.
All right, go ahead.
Swept sexual assault under the rug. Mr. Duncan said that in a statement, instead of building on important work to pursue justice, they are once again choosing politics over students, and students will pay the price. Anyways, I guess what it is, like, people are complaining about that Betsy DeVos is going to be changing some things with, you know, the Title IX and all that, because quite frankly, Title IX is complete shit. It was done poorly.
You have to say the least.
Yeah, because like they gave way too much power to the accusers. And with the accused, like, because rape accusations, even accusations, can hurt a guy's career, his entire future. Because despite, I don't think women would be hurt even if they got an accusation, or even if they actually committed actual rape. I don't think it would be necessarily as harmed as guys, because quite frankly, it's more likely to rape someone than girls are.
Because we got certain things.
Even though technically guys are actually statistically more raped than women, if you include prison rape.
Because other guys rape other guys.
Yeah. But anyways, it's like, it's because if an accusation is enough to destroy someone's reputation, if you're a guy, if you're accused of sexual assault or rape, because it's people don't like rape.
It's guilt by default.
Yeah. Anyways, what do you guys think about all this?
I absolutely support it. I liked Betsy DeVos when Trump first picked her, and I'm totally happy that she's making these reforms. These have been needed for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would also agree that I like Betsy DeVos because, quite frankly, despite the fact that she has no experience in the education system, quite frankly, we've had people who have had experience in the education system and they've done complete crap. I mean, maybe it is about time, like, someone like Betsy DeVos had come in.
Sorry to interrupt you, but Optimus Christ said he doesn't hear anybody.
Can't hear anybody. What should I check, do you think, Cracker, for that?
I would have to check. Hold on, let me check.
Ask your people in chat. Can they hear anyone, or is it just one person?
Wait 1 second. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. Seems like we're good now. Okay, what was I saying earlier? Oh yeah, that I think Betsy DeVos is good in the fact that despite not having experience, I think that's actually maybe what we need, because people who have had experience in the education system have done shitty jobs, and so maybe someone who hasn't had any but who actually cares, or at least seems to care about our education system, is a good change. What do you guys think?
I would have to read up more on it and to learn how a better opinion.
I was gonna say I'm not completely familiar with all the changes she wants to do, but I mean, just from the surface level, the changes she wants to do sound fine with me. I mean, I think they're certainly needed for sure.
Neither am I completely sure as to all of what she wants to do, but some of the things that I know they've talked about her doing or wanting to do, I've been fine with. And quite frankly, what I find interesting is, despite the left disliking her and think she's some homophobic hates the LGBT, quite frankly, she actually likes the LGBT. She actually wanted to keep President Obama's his executive order with the transgender school bathrooms. She actually tried to fight to keep that in. Like, they try to paint her as someone who hates the LGBT, but quite frankly, she's actually perhaps quite supportive of the LGBT.
Well, that's pretty standard at this point. I mean, I will point out that, all things considered, at this point, Trump is actually the first president to be elected who had a positive view of the LGBT community consistently. Because I will point out his three predecessors before him, at one point or another, made rather disparaging remarks about the LGBT community in their career. So he really is the first one to be elected to have a positive view of them. And yet the left still paints him as being, homophobic, transphobic, whatever.
I mean, for a Republican, yeah. I mean, the Democrats are more aligned. That's their voter base. They have to be aggressive. I don't know if you saw my invisible air quote. So, but speaking of the LGBTQRSPPQRPPQRPPPRRQR ZERZMC R2D2
Hey, Satan.
Sorry,
guys.
They're completely toxic.
I was telling him, a buddy of mine just showed up to my house drunk as shit and needed a place to crash, so.
Yeah, no problem.
Actually, I got to go to the bar here in a little bit and go pick up his girlfriend since he took the car.
Okay, just let us know when you're going to be back and everything.
Well, I got a couple hours. I'm going to wait till the bar gets
ready.
ready.
Oh, you got a couple hours. Oh, I thought you were going to have to go in a couple minutes or something.
No, I'm going to go let her drink for a little while and probably calm down because she knocked him the fuck out.
Ah.
His eyes all swollen and already black. It's only been 30 minutes.
Oh, gee, that's gotta hurt.
Wow, that's gonna hurt his manhood when he wakes up from that.
I didn't get the whole story, but something dancing with another girl, something bartender's ass, something I got hit.
Well, that just sounds like an average Saturday night to me.
So, do you still want to talk about that topic, or do you want to move on to the?
Whatever you guys want.
I want to put it in your pooper.
Oh yeah, are we putting things in people's poopers? Let's talk about that.
No. I have a we have to praise Doug. That's
Who's Doug?
Yeah, Optimus Christ. No,
the all-powerful Doug. Doug is your savior. Doug comes to you in your time of need, and he will save your ass. Your new
and he'll put it in your pooper, pilgrim.
Okay, I think. Oh, that's right. We were on Betsy DeVos and else about the LGBT. Quite frankly, I think the LGBT, out in the left, how the left treats also actually LGBT. Because if you also look at how the left, they almost worship the LGBT as long as they stay on the left, and that's kind of not right either.
Well,
and if you think about it,
they're sucking the left dick. That's what they're doing.
The left also acts as if it's the only group that has been supportive of the LGBT. But if you look back at the libertarians have supported the LGBT since the 70s, in which they started.
And even nowadays, Republicans are starting to support them. in a certain way.
Yeah, even nowadays, Republicans, especially young Republicans, the majority of young Republicans, if you look, they're supportive of LGBT rights. I think
and that's because a lot of your younger Republicans are really, quite frankly, 30 years ago probably would have been libertarians. Now they're on the Republican Party, and kind of that new faction of the party that's more libertarian in nature. But really, for most Republicans, I mean, unless you're a Republican,
the Republican Party is far from libertarian.
No, I'm not talking about the whole party. I'm just talking about that faction of younger Republicans that is coming in.
Even if you just the political class called the Young Republicans, because I mean, like they have, like, in high schools and colleges, they have those groups or whatever, and they're called the Young Democrats and the Young Republicans, and their MO or their political platform is different than the Republican Party for the Young Republicans or the Democrat Party for the Young Democrats. But like it definitely seems that the Young Democrats, or the Young Republicans, do have a whole lot more of a libertarian bent than most Republicans do. Like the Young Republicans Party seems to be a very libertarian party. It's like even some of the religious things doesn't really fall in line with a lot of the Republican Party platform. It falls more in line with the libertarian platform.
Yes, and I think that's only going to get stronger too, because as you have the younger Generation Z come in, that is just showing really strong libertarian signs, just kind of naturally. I think that's just going to increase, which I will be very interested to see how that works out in the main party, because you're going to have a lot of friction between the older socially conservative Republicans and the younger socially liberal Republicans coming in. I think that could cause a lot of friction in the party. I think it already is causing a lot of friction in the party.
Well, that's one of many things causing friction in every party is the younger generation. Because if we're going to talk about both, like I keep seeming to do, but like the younger generation is causing a dramatic shift in the Democratic Party lines, and it doesn't seem to be as dramatic, or at least as thematically what's the right word? It doesn't seem to be as violent on the political right as it does the political left, but the younger generations are changing the political platform in a major way.
Yeah, the millennials have really pushed, which that's basically what I am, so I'm talking about my own generation, but they basically have pushed the Democratic Party towards being almost a socialist party in nature, whereas the younger generation, some of the millennials and then the younger Generation Z, are pushing the Republican Party towards a more libertine nature, at least in the younger parts of it. And it really is starting to change the party, and you can see that in how the voting blocks happened, whereas most millennials supported Bernie and most Generation Zers supported Trump. In fact, Trump won the Generation Z by a slight majority in a lot of northern states, which is shocking considering that he lost millennials something like 80-20 or some just shockingly huge margin.
Well, you could also argue that a good portion of millennials are now more Republican than some of their peers, because
millennials or Generation Z?
Oh,
I was going to say millennials are not Republican. Something like 80% are liberal.
I'm retarded. I'm sorry.
It's okay, Cracker.
I've been at work all day, so my brain is working.
Yeah, you've got a long day ahead of you, don't you?
Yeah. Oh. But yeah, I mean, I know a majority of my friends are Republican. A lot of, and they're, Generation Z, millennials, whatever label you want to put on them, and they see what the left is and they turn their nose up at it. They want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, and you're seeing that a lot. In fact, basically that's what people like Paul Joseph Watson, Lawrence Southern, etc. have been pointing out, is that among the younger generations, people basically my age and younger, you're seeing a at least on economics, you're seeing a hard shift to the right on economics. And in terms of social issues, you're not seeing so much a hard right swing as much as you're seeing a really strong libertarian swing happening in those groups. That's kind of where the term cultural libertarianism has really found a hole, is in the younger groups referring to their social stances. Not particularly.
And even though I do fall in line with a lot of the things that cultural libertarians believe in, in any time you take the cult, like you take Marxism, which is bad, and you turn it into cultural Marxism, it gets worse. You take libertarianism and make it cultural libertarianism, you take a good thing and it makes it bad. Like I don't know what it is about this whole group dynamic thing.
Now, see, I disagree with that. I think cultural libertarianism has a much better future than classical libertarian does, at least at this point. I think in the future that could change. But at this point, I think cultural libertarianism has a much greater chance to take hold than classical libertarianism has.
Excuse me, sorry to interrupt you. Outlaw, is it okay if I invite Optimus Price?
Sure.
Okay, I'll send you an invite, buddy.
And while we're disrupting it, can I get a watch link? I can't find your channel on YouTube. I thought I subscribed to you, but I'm not finding you.
I'll get that right away. By the way, do you know Miss Prime Cracker?
Yeah, we hung out a lot on the streams for a while. How I gained so many fucking subscribers.
Oh, and apparently I'm getting close to 100 subscribers.
Nice.
I'm stuck at like the 196 mark.
Don't do what I did. I got 100 subscribers within like a month, and then I have not reached 200 yet.
I don't even know what's going on.
I see my sub count go up and down like by the 10s and 20s like every week, because everyone that does decide to follow me goes, nope, this guy's an asshole. Fuck this guy.
All right, I sent you the link to my channel, Satan.
Thank you. In the DMs? Yep, there, I see it. Okay, see, I did find the right channel. I just for whatever it was, it wasn't showing the stream.
Subscribe button?
Yeah, I'm subscribed. I'm subscribed.
Oh, you're subscribed now?
Yeah, no, I subscribed a couple days ago whenever we talked.
Oh.
But I did hit the little bell thing, so you're welcome.
Hold on. Here it is. I sent him the link. Hold on.
I'm going to check out Optimus Christ's channel. What else do we want to talk about?
Y'all should subscribe to me so I can hit the 200 mark. And then eventually at 250, I'll do a t-shirt giveaway with my logo and shit. So.
Yes, you should all subscribe to all of us.
Don't subscribe to me. You'll regret it. I'm garbage. How much did y'all actually get into the Betsy DeVos and the Title IX conversation before I hopped in?
All right, Autobots, lick my ass.
Is that a painter or is that you?
That's legitimately me.
Going up.
Hey, how's it going?
Cool voice.
Thank you.
do it in the voice. Do like, let me put it in your poop, in your what?
I'm going to put it in your pooper and do a barrel roll, and there's nothing you can do about it. I am going to dick punch your fart box. Receive my oppression.
Receive my love juice.
Receive my lubricants.
We should hang out more, man. We haven't done a stream together in fucking forever.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, have you been on YouTube much a lot recently? Up because I haven't seen any, and I
I've been doing. I recently updated the Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas series, so
Yeah, just let's plays and stuff like that. Cool content. You should.
and somebody got me Layers of Fear, expecting to hear the manly war cries again. So
Soma? So more Soma screams?
yeah, more Soma screams.
And then just depression and nihilism once you finish it.
Yes, absolutely.
That game had a very disappointing ending.
No, I literally had I like to call it a mid-Doug crisis when I had to kill myself.
It was funny though, because like you're sitting there watching out through the entire stream, or I'm sitting there watching out through the entire stream, and he's sitting there all happy and I mean like the jump scares and shit, so he's sitting there playing around with that, and all of a sudden he gets to the end and it's just like, no, I'm not happy anymore. All that is happy is gone now.
Yeah, and let's just say that ice cream was not safe that night. But yeah, I do a lot of Let's Plays, gaming, stuff like that. I used to do hangouts on a political spectrum with other people.
Interesting. I just followed you on Twitter and YouTube.
Yeah, I saw that. Thanks. Yeah, and check on Twitter. I just usually comment, like praise Doug everywhere.
By the way, who's Doug?
Okay, so actually, it's not me. Okay, so on my channel, there's a stream of Soma.
Can I set it up?
Sure, go ahead.
Your life up until this point has been a steaming pile of miserable shit. But now, Optimus Christ is here to save you with the gospel of Doug. Please take it away.
All right, so Doug introduced himself to me when I first played Soma. Soma is a linear storyline game with a lot of jump scares, and there's this one little floating robot that helps you get to the next, part that you need to get into.
Mm-hmm.
I casually nicknamed him Doug. So later on, turns out that he's helped more and more useful throughout the game. And I'm like, wow, this little guy's awesome. Well, each game that I played after that, Doug made himself more prevalent in every game that I've played. And so after that, I was like, you know what? This is the thing. Praise Doug. And so, as a matter of fact, I'll get you the link to the stream. It's a 14-hour stream, but
that's long.
That was a 14-hour one?
Huh?
I forgot that was the 14-hour one.
That was the 14-hour stream, yeah.
Yeah, how did you do that? That's a long time.
I'm a robot.
I guess that would help.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Cracker, when do you have to go? Exactly.
I got about another hour.
Oh, well, you made it sound like you were going to be like earlier. You had to like go in like a half hour or something.
No, I just gotta be quiet when my boss shows up and I'm not doing anything.
Okay. So why don't we continue on this with the topic on
Doug.
on Betsy DeVos and the left and young Republicans and all that.
Correction, it's a 12-hour stream. And there's a link right there.
Thank you. I'll check it out later.
All right.
Although it will take me a while.
It's like midway through the stream. You should get I'm sure Satan could find for you the point where I scream like a little sissy girl and throw my headset across the room, because apparently one time in this the game where like it's a trigger to where like I'm going through this hallway and I'm sneaking past this creature and I'm like, okay, phew, I made it. All of a sudden you hear a loud boom, and this same creature is now chasing after me, and I didn't realize it was a storyline event. And so I'm screaming my head off, running through the end, and let's just say that I had 911 on speed dial.
No, I'll have to find it, but I'm pretty sure that Tristan and that short Mexican tweeted out that clip on Twitter.
What, they made a clip of it?
Yeah, like they just cut out like 13, 14 seconds of that video. You throwing your headset across the room. Just, ah!
No, I gotta find it.
Dude, it was a while ago. I gotta go through all my shit. Hopefully he messaged it to me so that way I can just pull up the messages. But I know it's in somewhere.
Right. Oh, that would be awesome.
So, are we going to talk about no bullshit now, or?
Why don't we go on to the libertarian article that Southern has?
All right. Let me get my screen sharing up real quick.
I'm going to share it also in the chat so you guys can see.
There we go. Should get more people coming in now.
Cool, thanks.
Yep.
You mean in the stream?
To the YouTube video stream thing, yeah. I just tweeted it out.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Or to watch it.
Huh?
Or to watch.
Hey, Rational, do you wanna show this, or do you want me do you want to just capture the screen where I'm showing it?
You can do it if you want.
All right. Well, it starts off with this tweet, which I'm sure some of you probably saw on Twitter. Islamic teachings are consistent with many libertarian principles such as tolerance, property rights, and individualism. Now, I feel like that by itself should give a clue that something's not quite right with the article that was written by them.
One of these things is not like the other.
The whole thing is that, to be entirely fair, that's true if you're talking about rich, wealthy, connected to the caliphate men.
Yeah.
Anyone else, not so much. Like every other man and every woman, yeah, they're all fucked. But like those few specific men, oh yeah, no, they're fucking great. Every other man there and all of the women, they're kind of fucked.
Yeah, I'm sure the sons and brothers of the Saudi king are totally fine. They have all the oil money they could ever want. But the actual thing itself comes from is called the Encyclopedia of Libertarianism. Apparently, this was written in. If I give it a date, maybe it doesn't. But
hopefully this was like 2002, like 2000, like prior to 2001.
Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. Originally published August 15th of 2008.
Jesus Christ.
So here's how it starts off. Like other religions, Islam has been invoked to justify a variety of legal and political systems in support of both liberty and authority. Today, we are in the process of witnessing libertarian and democratic Muslims struggle against their intolerant and authoritarian brothers. Some libertarian Muslims are inspired by the Western secular enlightenment, but Islamic libertarians also draw inspiration from the Quran's affirmation of the direct responsibility of every individual to the Creator. According to the Quran, the Muslim holy book, even the prophets, including Muhammad, are only messengers sent to warn men of the judgment day, and any who attempt to evade responsibility of their choices by blaming their leaders, whether political or religious, will have their punishment doubled. And it goes on from there. They claim the non-aggression principle is apparently stated in the Quran, because, yeah, if I had to first guess, I would say that who wrote this article had never read the Quran. That would be my guess, but it's actually written by Imad ad-Din
To be
Abed.
honest, I'd say about 80% of Muslims haven't read the Quran either.
Yeah.
That'd be true about Christians or pretty much anyone in any other religion, but it's almost maybe some of the ones in America haven't, or some of the the more Western societies. But if you grew up anywhere in like a Muslim country, like there's no getting around not reading the Quran in its entirety and all the other books surrounded with it.
Well, one thing you're misunderstanding is that there are always ways to get around something. As long as you repeat word for word what someone else is telling you that they said that they read it, then basically you're safe.
Mm-hmm.
I read Spider-Man, therefore Spider-Man as well. All women should be called Mary Jane.
What else is the article?
The article goes on to say, like, Islamic libertarians regard governments as subject to a fixed rule of law binding on all, including civic magistrates, a position strongly rooted in Islamic jurisprudence. Goes on to give some long statement by Abu Bakr, the first caliph. The most humorous part is this right here, which I'm fairly sure any of you will understand what's wrong with this statement. Islam established a form of pluralism that, although not secular, was more extensive than anything before the American era. In exchange for a small tax in lieu of military service, Jews, Christians, Sabians, and in practice other religious minorities were allowed to follow their own religious laws in all matters internal to their own communities and in their private actions. So basically, the libertarians are okay with paying a religious tax, is basically what this is implying.
Taxation is theft, but religious taxation is just tithing.
Yeah. But it's so humorous, the whitewashing that has occurred in this article. I mean, okay, look. The Quran and the Prophet strongly emphasize property rights and freedom of trade. I would like to ask, can we define property rights, please? What counts as property in the Middle East under Islam?
His wife.
Women.
His
But
8-year-old wife.
yeah. And they want to claim that because Muhammad was a prophet, therefore he supported free trade, which, no.
Did they spell prophet correctly in that?
Profit. There you go.
But that's just pretty much. It's just a incredibly whitewashed history of Islam and how it relates to libertarianism. Which just no. I mean, just no. There's no way that those two are even closely connected to each other. Not at all. And certainly not from this.
You know what I found interesting is like Lawrence Southern recently released a video on libertarians and how there are a lot of libertarians who oddly are actually really not following, well, obviously not following the ideal of libertarianism, because there's the libertarians who are SJWs who support the radical feminism and obviously the Islam and what it's doing, and it's just so weird with some major libertarians in the Libertarian Party doing this stupid shit.
Yes, in fact, there's a picture. Yeah, here it is. Let me get this back up. Yeah, here. Oops. Yeah, there. Here's 3 examples of things that just don't quite fit with each other. I especially like the third one. The third one should make no sense at all. Gotta love the praise for Kim, though. I mean, that's pretty bold for an American party to put that tweet out.
No, praise Doug.
No, here's Doug right here for you.
God, what is wrong with the Libertarian Party? That is so wrong.
Well, they can't figure that out. First, they have to figure out where Aleppo is. Then they can get back to you what's wrong with their party.
What's
I can just see it now. He pops out of nowhere. You lack discipline.
Bernie Sanders is a socialist.
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
No. He's all for big government. No, sir.
Yeah,
Fuck
like
that noise.
also, Lawrence Southern also brought up the fact that libertarians also supported Bernie Sanders, and somehow there was also some libertarians saying that no, major libertarians of the past said government getting involved with businesses, giving businesses more power in government was a good thing. It's like, that is not libertarianism. That's
that's called cronyism.
Yeah, cronyism, corporatism, all of that.
All the same thing, basically. But it really is funny because, I mean, it's just the Libertarian Party itself has swung so far to the left. I mean, which is interesting because you actually have a large faction in the Republican Party that follows a libertarian stride. So in a lot of ways, it's sort of like the right-wing libertarians left the party, the official party, and then went to the Republican Party instead. That's what happened with Rand Paul.
Oh, Rand Paul went to the Republican Party and left the Libertarian Party?
Yeah, he was in the Libertarian Party like his dad was, but then he left. He ran as a Republican senator in Kentucky, and he's the Kentucky senator.
Interesting. But yeah, it's just like...
Yeah, but to be honest, he wasn't ever going to win on a Libertarian ticket in Kentucky.
True,
no.
Because Libertarian Party is still way too small in any state to win in a major election. Like they've been able to get some of their members into Congress, but only like a few senators.
Yeah, typically most of the people they don't even get elected. They usually just get people who convert from one of the other parties to the Libertarian Party. In fact, because I know I'm on the emailing list for the LP, and I mean, almost any time they ever announce that someone has joined the Libertarian Party, it's always blah blah switch from blah blah party and blah blah seat in this state to the Libertarian Party. It's like, okay, but hardly anyone ever actually gets elected to the Libertarian Party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's just still way too small to have that much of an influence in politics. And
plus there's also, from what I hear, there's a lot of internal divide among different parts of the party as to where they want to go. Like, if I'm not mistaken, the most popular candidate back in 2016 was not Gary Johnson. It was, what's the other guy's name? Starts with an A, if I remember correctly, but I can't remember. But he was actually the one, I think, that was polled to be the most popular among libertarians in the country, but he's not the one that got the nomination. Gary Johnson's the one that got the nomination. And, well, the whole country can see how well that worked out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was my article. But just well, to quote Lawrence Southern,
I'm gonna write an article about Doug and have someone read it.
Yeah,
because everyone's all about reading articles and shit. So guess what?
All right, let's get to the main topic.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll start with no bullshit. You know more about this than I'm sure than I do, Satan, since you said you were pre-informed on no bullshit, correct?
I've been following his Twitter feed ever since that fucking bullshit argument he had with Ranting Feminist, which, and although I disagree with her politically, I'm not going to try and debate shit on Twitter with her, because I haven't seen her lose a Twitter debate with anyone in a fucking while, because it seems everyone she tries to go up against, it's like it could be the most intelligent fucking person, but as soon as they start typing, just stupid shit just comes out of their fucking Twitter feed. Just nothing but just random stupid bullshit. And so I was sitting there following this whole argument with her, with her and no bullshit for like 6 fucking hours while I was at work. And then I just started looking through, like, and he was just going off, just spitting stupid shit at fucking everybody. And it wasn't even, he didn't even say anything all that stupid. What it was is, he was just, anything anyone said well, see, this is dumb because you mean this instead. No, like, that's not at all what was said. You're being a dumb cunt now. Like, you're making me defend Ranting Feminist now because you're being a stupid fucking prick. She didn't say incest was good. If anyone's actually saying that right now, you're the one that keeps implying it is good. Fucking stop. Incest is bad. You both agree incest is bad. Stop trying to make the argument that it's good to make her look bad. You are fucking dumb as shit.
How did he think that she...
Oh, that's
40
gross.
Exactly.
Fucking gross, dude.
He was replying to one of her videos. I like I said, I didn't even watch the video. I was just watching all the shit go down on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And she had mentioned something in her video, apparently, I haven't actually watched it, that incest is bad, yada, yada, yada. The argument for it is that that's basically what was said, as far as I can tell.
So she was saying for both sides. She wasn't saying like she was supported it, but she was trying to give both sides, is what you're trying to say,
Yeah,
correct?
She was playing devil's advocate, and then she argued against her own devil's advocate.
Which is what someone presenting an argument should do. I mean, you know, when you're writing essays, you're taught that you shouldn't just blast your critic. You should at least try to give some sort of olive branch to their point of view, and if you later on go on to destroy that point of view. But you should still at least do that as a sort of, you know, retrospective view on it.
Basically, yeah. And anytime anything was said, whether it was to Ranting Feminist or anyone else who was chiming in on this argument, he would just flip his shit and go, well, no, you're dumb because this. And it was almost nonsensical bullshit. Like, he was barely literate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like that argument Outlaw was having with that dude for the what the fuck it was. I'm sorry, my brain's not working. It was the it was like a poll that you did.
That guy, yeah, that ANCAP who would not take down this tweet that was putting out misinformation about me, saying that I don't like jokes or some like spelling jokes and some other thing. One other thing, like, and also saying that I deleted the tweet because I didn't want him responding or anyone responding or something to that effect, which was false. Anyways, I had convinced him that at least the fact that I am completely fine with jokes, but even when he finally agreed with me on that, he still would not change the tweet or delete the tweet or any of that, and just like it was just being an complete ass, right? Not trying to at least change.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think the main point I'm trying to make here is that when people argue on Twitter, they're both fucking retarded.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's pretty hard to have a reasonable argument in 140 characters.
I thought it was 120. True. Oh, did we gain 20 more?
Dude, it's been 140 ever since Twitter started.
I thought it was 120.
How drunk are you right now, Cracker?
Huh? You did well with who for how many cookies?
How drunk are you right now, Cracker?
I'm not. I'm at work, man. I'm exhausted.
He's not the one you should be asking.
I know you're drunk. You're like Bender. You can't function without alcohol.
How does a
robot get
drunk?
Well, not with any store-bought shit, I'll tell you that.
Y'all paying attention to the chat?
No, I've been a little distracted. What's going on in the chat?
Have any of y'all been paying attention to it? People have been asking questions, making good points.
I'm paying attention to the chat, but that's because I'm looking out for people praising Doug.
Praise Doug. And
his
robo penis.
Hey, Rational, if you want to, just do a screen share of the chat so that everyone can see it.
Of the group. Okay. Let me see if I can do that.
Yeah, but back to the main topic. Yeah, the whole no bullshit thing that happened is just retarded. He lost the argument. He should have admitted as much and moved on. It shouldn't have escalated like it did. But people always want to be right.
My favorite part of the entire exchange was when he, in the video, claimed he had a science degree, and turns out he has a Bachelor of Science in Communication and Journalism. And as someone who has a degree in communications and journalism, that's not not a science degree. Although it is called a Bachelor of Science in some schools, in most schools it's called a Bachelor of Arts. It's not a fucking science degree.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, here's the thing. Those degrees fall into two categories: bachelors of arts and bachelors of science. I mean, you can be getting a degree in business and it's still considered a science. You can be getting a degree in communication, it's still a science, even though it's it's not actually a science.
Hell, you can get a bachelor of science in animation, depending on what type of field it is you're studying.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because it's technically tech. It's a tech degree, depending on what college it is and where their accreditation is coming from or whatever. It is as to what it falls under. If you have to go through a certain amount of computer classes or tech classes to get into the animation classes, it can be considered a Bachelor of Science for animation.
Yep.
There you go. Check out that Twitter post.
Funny. Why don't you share the group chat? The chat.
So, what I think would be really interesting if we had both of them on to hash it out, but
Have who on?
I've actually been trying to get Ranting Feminist onto a Church of Satan for a while now, and probably here in the next couple of weeks, I may have her on, and Tim Blake should be on within the next few weeks too. I'm trying to get some of them so I can hash out some of the things that we actually do agree on, and see if I can push them on some of the a bit more radical things. Because I don't really have very many radical views except for when I'm telling jokes. Because fuck everyone, I don't like people, and if it's expensive someone, it's a good joke to me.
Nazi jokes are hilarious.
He tries to make jokes about me, but then I spin it right back around on him.
But I think there was some other things about No Bullshit. Like I remember, I think I watched some of when he was in the debate with Vegan Gains. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I remember watching some of it. Like some of his arguments he tried to make against Vegan Gains arguments. Like I don't like Vegan Gains, but he brought up better points, I think, than No Bullshit. Like
my food eats your food.
Obviously, but some of his points, I did not think No Bullshit did very well in the argument.
Games is a fucking lunatic.
Oh yeah, he is. He's a complete lunatic. But however, I think from the parts I did watch, he did better than No Bullshit within the debate, despite some people thinking that No Bullshit won. I think actually Vegan Gains won that debate.
Well, yeah, I mean, there can be two sides of an argument, and I agree wholeheartedly with one side of the argument. Like prior to the actual debate, say, there's a debate between Nazis are good and Nazis are bad. Those are the two sides, right? I'll agree before the debate even starts. Nazis are bad, okay? But if the guy who's arguing against Nazis being, or if the guy who's arguing for Nazis being bad does it really, really fucking poorly, and the guy who's arguing for Nazis are good makes better points than the guy who's arguing Nazis are bad, that person won the debate. Even if I disagree with their stance, they can win that debate. If they're more fucking coherent and articulate in their points, and they can easily shut down the other person's arguments, they can win a debate on a losing side. And that's what kind of seemed to happen with No Bullshit in that argument, or in that debate. I only saw about the first 20 minutes of it, and then I had to click away from it, and then from after that, I just watched the stream. I think it was Scribe and Monkey did talking about it.
I think I facepalmed myself because of how awful No Bullshit arguments were, the portions I saw, because it was just so bad, his arguments he was trying to give. And like I think the only reason why No Bullshit is so popular as he is because of his personality and not so much his logic, because his logic is quite flawed. He doesn't provide sources to his stuff, and it seems more of a personality thing that for the most part people are following. Obviously personality is the main thing for most people to follow anyone, but it seems to be a very big thing.
That's kind of like what you're really selling is personality, not your content, not your arguments, not your logic. You're selling a personality. That's what 99% of people are going to tune in for. That's why my channel is so small, because I'm a fucking piece of shit.
Well, maybe not. I mean, Bering has how many hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and his channel is entirely personality.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm talking about. Like that's what people are going to subscribe for.
Yeah, they mostly subscribe for personality. However, there are still some people who like personality, but also like some logic, like Sargon of Akkad or Teal Deer. They usually provide good sources and
I was going to
logical.
say, people do not subscribe to Teal Deer for personality.
I tried watching his stuff. His videos are too long, and he's just so boring.
I don't know. I like him, but
Teal Deer's hit or miss for me. But
Like, I watched-
one of the people I think that proves the rule by being the exception to the rule, like even people like Teal Deer out there, but is Dr. Endercam. Because although I love his fucking videos, he is the most obtuse, grating personality person I have ever fucking seen. But I love his fucking YouTube. I love his fucking videos. But I think if I met him in person, I'd want to punch him and then wipe that spit off of his lip. Because fucking hell, that shit drives me to fucking insane. Does that bother nobody else, or does anyone watch him? That spit always being on his lip just
I don't think
drives
I've-
me fucking insane.
To be honest, I don't tend to watch people who repeat the same shit over and over and over again.
Yeah, like
There's definitely repeated points in most of his videos, but I'm not entirely watching it for that. What I'm watching at this point now is basically his for his lyricism and shit, because it's not so, or not lyricism because it's not music or poetry or whatever, but in that same way I would listen to a shitty artist because they're a good songwriter. It's kind of the same reason I listen to, or I watch Dr. Enderman.
You listen to Nickelback. That's what you listen to.
Oh, good God, no. some of the
He listens to Creed.
I hate you both.
Look at this photograph.
I hope Optimus eats you and then he chokes on you.
I mean, I'd probably, yeah.
so.
I can
What do
agree
you
to
think?
that.
What do we think of No Bullshit for his just in his videos in general, as to his arguments that he usually gives, him attacking usually people's appearance? I mean, obviously all YouTubers do that to some degree, but they usually do it in a more of a comedic way rather than almost not like usually half of their video is just insulting someone's looks or something like that.
honestly, this is going to sound bad, but I've only ever watched one video of No Bullshits, and it was that one video of him trying to describe what happened at Rebel Media, and I found him to be very, very annoying through that whole video. I did manage to watch the whole thing, but he was just annoying to me. I never even bothered watching any of their stuff, which is, I was surprised when he came back up as a topic of debate here.
The only time I ever watched No Bullshit was after his first couple of times being on the Worski podcast. I went and checked out his channel because he was on like fucking 5 or 6 times over the span of like 2 weeks. So I was like, I'll go check this guy out. And I think I watched maybe a dozen videos tops. I'm not a huge fan of the guy. Like I don't remember exactly what it was that bugged me. because it wasn't his logical argument, because it was hit or miss. Like he had some really good arguments, he had some really terrible ones. He did some of the ad hom stuff, and he did some videos where he went strictly point by point and stayed away from that shit. But it was really he seems like a dumbass, even though he can sound smart on occasion. But I get the feeling that he's an idiot trying to sound smart. He's Jerry after reading a textbook.
Yeah, that sounds pretty accurate.
Yeah, I kind of picked up on that too. I thought he was trying to, even just in that one video, trying to play up what he knew more than actually what he knew. That was my takeaway from that video he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I found when I first subscribed to No Bullshit, I don't remember how I found him exactly, but it is his personality. I will say he can make his videos entertaining. Like, he's good at entertaining people, but his arguments, because I've seen some of his arguments and they're just complete shit. There is no substance to his arguments. His arguments are based on feelings or just complete opinions, or what's the word I'm looking for? Generalizations.
It's conjecture.
Yes. Anyone else have a view they would like to share on No Bullshit? Or any?
What do you mean Bullsh ain't food?
I mean, when I make videos, I always try to make a decent argument and have evidence to back it up. I always try to be funny and add humor. When I do make fun of someone, I always try to make it like, ha ha ha, it's funny, not like, I'm not viciously going after someone.
Well, neither am I usually in my videos. Usually.
That's just, I'm not that good at first.
I always like the fact. Oh, who's talking? I don't know.
Yes.
Okay, go.
If No Bullshit's actually watching the stream, maybe he should focus on fixing his content. And, I wish him the best. I don't know him personally. I don't know what he's going through. But I think this outburst that he had with Ranting Feminist is beneath him and Ranting Feminist. I think they're both adults, and they shouldn't have that conversation escalate the way it did. I follow Ranting Feminist. I think she's a good-hearted person. I don't necessarily agree with everything she has to say, but she has every right to say those things.
Agreed.
And so does No Bullshit. But when we say certain things, we also have to have evidence and proof to back that up. Well, we can't just say nonsense for the sake of nonsense. A lot of people are too overly sensitive nowadays, and it just makes me sick to my stomach.
Andy, you were going to say something, Optimus Christ?
Oh, I've just been noticing a trend where people ask me to debate on a certain subject that I know close to nothing about, and they can't seem to accept the fact it's like, hey, look, I do video games now. I don't know much about that subject. I would have to research into it in order to even develop a talking point or to develop an opinion about it. And then the look on their face when they get all butthurt. It's amazing.
I just love the look of, I love the look of people's face when they get butthurt, because I'm usually the one putting it in their butt when it happens, and
and that's why we're friends, because I tag you in because you're the one making them butthurt.
We seriously have to be on more streams, Satan and Optimus, for real. I miss hanging out with you guys.
Well, if you'd actually watch the video games that I play, maybe we could hang out more.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Hey, we could do a gaming stream next week if we wanted, and some stuff, or I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We all want to play.
I had to suggest it because I don't have any online computer games. So.
Any of y'all have Killing Floor 2?
Yep.
I have no games that aren't free anymore because I had to sell most of my things to pay for food.
Oh. But I gotta get going. But
All right.
thanks
Bye.
for having me on. Remember, shameless plug here. Please subscribe to my YouTube, The Critical Cracker, and hit me up on the Twitters at CrackerCritical. I got fucking 6 more hours to fucking go. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself.
I still hate you, Cracker, and I hope you die on your sleep tonight.
Yeah, me too, buddy. Me too. So I'll see you later.
All right, see you, Cracker.
All right, and also, as he said, follow Cracker on his YouTube channel and on Twitter, and you can also find him on VidMe as well. All right, so do we have anything else we want to talk about on No Bullshit? Any other things that we think that he did that was wrong?
He was born, and that's wrong for all humans to do.
A lot of people
All right.
are born meatbags, man. They go to war with themselves. And here I am trying to defend everyone.
I'm still just waiting for you to take on the whole Bender persona and then just decide to join me in our conquest to kill all humans.
See, I've already been on that conquest. I don't need you to team up with.
Well, fine. We'll fucking tag team. Like you can go and give your pillow some head whenever you get fucking tired of killing everyone, and then I'll tag in and then just like bomb all of Eurasia.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, so if we have nothing else, we can go on to Hi, I Think I'm Real.
All right. And on this one, I have no idea what the hell happened.
Yeah, this had
Fill me in on this one.
totally connected to me. Just, was it yesterday, Southern, or was it the day before? I've forgotten now.
I think it was 2 days ago, but it was yesterday that we discussed it.
Yes. Anyways, what happened, I'll get the tweets up. What I originally had done was made a video on Hi, I Think I'm Real, and actually Otterface. I took a video from each of theirs who they did on PragerU. I took both of their videos because they were pretty much the same, and they had similar arguments or did arguments on different parts. So I just like took them apart. I'm still not finished with their videos because their videos were super long. I only have the part 1 done. Anyways, I made a video criticizing him, but what I did was I didn't insult his intelligence. I didn't insult his appearance. And then I get shit from him on Twitter saying that I am somehow obsessed with his looks, that I somehow like jack off to his pictures.
Okay. So just from what I'm hearing, you like, okay. So the thing is, a lot of people have been walking on Legos around other people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say eggshells because Legos hurt a lot more.
I still think one of the worst things you can wish on someone is not death or rape or anything like that. It's I hope you step on a Lego. Like that seems to be like the darkest fucking thing you can wish on.
A lot of people are walking on Legos around other people in regards to, oh, I don't want to offend this person. I don't want to offend that person. If the person gets offended, they probably deserved it.
And hi, constitutionalist libertarian.
Welcome to the danger zone.
Can you hear us? Okay, well, let me see if I can bring up the tweets with what he did.
Well, yeah. Well, you're doing that. I agree with you. If people are going to get offended by something that you feel either needs to be said, or even you just fucking want to say, fuck it. Fuck them. If they're offended by something,
It's their problem. Get over it.
If they're offended by something that you think is true, so you intentionally don't say something that you think is true because you think it'll offend someone, you're being a fucking pussy.
Okay.
Tact is ridiculous. Tact is just not saying true things for the sake of offending someone.
Right.
Okay. So here's the first one of the tweets I received from him, where he said, he was trying to make fun of me. I'm irrelevant garbage. Better talk shit to people who couldn't be helped me muster a single fuck about who I am. Rational cunt law. Which, like, seriously, man. Anyways, this was just a poll I did earlier, and he was commenting on it. But the poll is superfluous. It was, anyways, that was one of his things he said, and then it just, let's see, I think it was this one. This is the dirtbag who tried and failed to debunk me. He follows me on Instagram, probably winks it to my selfies fucking joke, and then he tries to correct my spelling, which I'm a crappy speller. My spelling is complete shit. So, like, sheesh.
Wait, you're from Texas, right?
No, I'm not from Texas. I'm from California.
Oh, that's even worse. Never mind. Yeah, no, like you have a perfectly good reason not to be able to fucking spell. Like you went to a California school.
Anyways, but yeah, I'm a crappy speller. I will admit my spelling is shit. I can spell the spelling the simplest words I can have trouble with. But anyways, besides that, I said I didn't get one of my tweets from the photo for whatever reason. But anyways, and don't flatter yourself. You're not my type. And then he says, you badly painted a unibrow on my picture. And it was a thumbnail I did. I drew a unibrow on him. And I also put a.
Who's this person? What's the at?
I did a video. I did a video.
It's hi. I think I'm real. Is the at?
No, the actual at. So is like underneath that name.
I think it's sorry. It's think I'm real. Yeah, that's the at.
Hold on, I'm gonna bring up the photo I had. Ah, darn it! How do you do this thing? There we go. Okay, I'm gonna bring up the photo. Why don't you guys talk about something else for just a sec? I'm gonna bring up the thumbnail I had of him.
To be honest, I didn't realize this was a dude. Like, I'm not following him, and I randomly will see things retweeted by him or something that people liked of his. But from his profile picture, I thought that was a fucking
holy shit, that's a guy.
Yeah,
I thought that was a female.
This is the thumbnail I did of him on my video. However, I do this like with everyone. I make a crude looking photo making fun of them. It's just to get people's attention to look at the videos. I do that with everyone I do a video on. It's my current style. And anyways, like, I just drew a unibrow on him and took a somewhat unpleasant photo of him, like, perking his lips. And this is Otterface over here. Like, I did the exact same thing with her, but put a blue nose on her because there's not much I could do at the time with cartoons.
Ooh, there's a poll of his/hers going on, apparently. If you had to assign a common political label, I'm going to choose other and then put racist.
Anyways, he was complaining about the fact that I drew a unibrow on him. Like, that was the worst thing I did. I didn't insult his intelligence. I didn't insult his appearance. I just drew a unibrow on him in the thumbnail. And I did a similar thing with putting the nose on Otterface, which, quite frankly, I like her content, and I do that with everyone. It doesn't matter if I like or dislike your content. I'm gonna make fun of you in the thumbnail. Like, I do that with everyone because, look, I can show you some of my other thumbnails.
Ooh, this is a play. Okay, so I'm looking at the "Hi, I think I'm real," and then he has a tweet that she has a tweet that says, "Christ, isn't this some pompous bullshit?" I'm totally gonna play on that, just because he said Christ.
like it's a common theme I have with my my different thumbnails. Like I make fun of the people I'm doing videos on. It doesn't matter who it is. I'll make fun of them within the thumbnail because I want to get people's attention to go to the videos to make it look interesting. That's what I've been looking at to see what. Anyways, that was the worst thing I did. Draw a stupid unibrow on his forehead in the thumbnail, and then I get all this shit from him saying, "You badly painted it on my picture. You threatened by the fact that I'm objectively more attractive than you. Fuck yourself." Like seems to be obsessed with his looks.
You heard his fifis.
Well, he's a really pretty woman. I think he has the right to be obsessed with his looks.
Like, quite frankly, he's not my type. I don't like guys with long hair. It's just, ugh. I don't like long hair on guys. But anyways, he seems to be obsessed with his looks. And what I said here is, I have no problem with you. I don't care for your video style. I do that with everyone I do a video on. I did a similar thing with Otterface, and I like her content. I do that with everyone, and I make a video. It's my current style, and as I showed you guys, it is literally my current style that I have with making fun of people in the thumbnails. And then I'm a dirtbag ? All I did was say how your arguments in your video are shit. And then the next tweet.
Check out the link on, like, I want you to, while you're sharing your screen, check out the link I put in the side chat.
Okay, let me see. Darn it, what's this darn thing? Okay, there we go. Where was it? Why am I not seeing it?
Click the chat in the top left corner. The blue top left.
Oh, there it is. Okay. I don't know why it disappeared. Is this it?
Oh, okay. Click on the actual tweet.
Where is it exactly? What am I looking for?
Click on tweets and replies.
Oh, okay.
There it is. Click on that tweet. That top tweet.
This one?
No, go up.
Oh, up
wrong one.
Further?
I know how to computer so good.
This one?
Yeah, why had the reply shown up to it?
I'm not sure. It showed up for me.
Well, why don't you screen?
Hold on a second here.
Oh, here it is. I see it right here. I got it. Here, all right. Can you see my thing?
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm just gonna screen share and make this a bit easier because it's showing up on my screen. Here.
Hold on, let me press on your thing there. Okay. Hi, conservatives. Guess what? You have no.
Look about that though. Where he says, "Christ, isn't this some pompous bullshit?"
A bit of its punch.
Ugh.
It's the assumption that conservatives have remotely acceptable ideas when. What is his problem? He's such an asshole.
Well, that's a radical centrist for you.
No, but if you look, he says, "Christ, isn't this some pompous bullshit?" Then he launches into the "Hey, conservatives." And then I say, I don't know, I haven't investigated into it yet. Christ.
Good jokes. We're so good at computer.
We're so good. What do you mean, booze ain't food?
Yeah, he's just a complete asshole. And the last tweet I have from him is, let me go back to screen sharing. I'm sorry, was there some thing in the original tweet to indicate that I was talking about someone else. Yes, you're the dirt bag. And then that was it. And like he didn't say anything else. And it's just seriously like was complaining about a video and how just a thumbnail that is everyone does, or not everyone, a lot of people who are in the skeptic community make thumbnails that make fun of the people they're doing videos on. Like, it's not an abnormal thing. Others do it as well.
Hey, Morty, I turned myself into a hurricane. I'm Hurricane Rick.
Anyways, what do you guys think?
I think he's personally got a screw loose. I mean, looking at this, I walk into the middle of this and I'm just amazed at like where this guy's coming from. It's not reality. I'll say that much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, he's talking about being pompous, you know, like on conservatives, and everything I've seen and that's been tweeted by him is literally pompous. I mean, he's projecting.
Yeah, like he's
okay. Well, I just learned to dislike the man from one thing. This alone makes me dislike him.
Well, I'm gonna talk shit about him for the rest of the time that I'm on this stream, and then I'm gonna go back to not knowing who the fuck he is.
Yeah, I'm gonna forget him as soon as I get done with this stream too.
But like,
To be honest, I don't know who a lot of people are. I'm just doing shit to be doing shit.
You're just a hospital.
For alcohol.
To be honest, like I wasn't even trying to like make fun of him or anything like any of that. I wasn't trying to like cause controversy with him. Like I was surprised that he just like blew up in my face with all his insults at me for little things, for me making a video criticizing his points, in which you guys can see if you want. I can link you the video if you want to see it later. Anyways, like where I just criticize his points, say how his points are complete shit, but I don't insult his intelligence and I don't insult his appearance, but he then insults my intelligence, my appearance in some ways, and insults also my channel size as well. Which
he's just compensating for something with that.
Oh, well, hold on. To be fair, your channel size is disgustingly small. Like you should.
I've got him beat.
You and your tiny sub count can't even fucking satisfy a woman.
I've got a 13 sub count. Okay, mine is way worse. Give him a break.
Well,
oh God, do I have to shell out all your shit?
No, man, I'll do it on my own. I'm actually doing half decent on BitChute. It's just YouTube that don't like me.
Have you tried VidMe?
Yeah, they don't. I'm having, because a lot of my content's over 30 minutes. That's kind of like I have to try to
if you
work it out to where I can split it up. I already put a request in and they basically rejected me.
That's interesting. I don't know why. Like I've had no problem with them. And what about minds.com? Have you still tried them?
Yeah, it's 40 minutes and I've been mostly posting like comments and links to my content there. I got to actually start uploading it there. I'm just going to sit down one day and set it up so I can just have my encoding software go through and just do job after job after job, and I can just like set it on a weekend and walk away. And then I'll just upload it in sections and archive it, like type thing on my VidMe and Minds if it's over 30 minutes.
Yeah, I just got a BitChute account. You say you use that mostly, which I haven't tried it that much. I just like got it like I think last week, and I haven't really uploaded anything to it yet. So how does that work for you?
I actually like it a lot better than YouTube, because at least with their algorithms for new content and stuff like that, they're rudimentary because, you know, they're just starting out, and it seems to work better for you because you don't have that bias getting put into the algorithms that you have with YouTube and Google. So like I have no problems with people just finding my stuff and watching it.
Basically, that's code word for the algorithm doesn't cheat.
Yeah.
Ooh,
You know, I miss.
If we really want to talk shit, let's talk Clementine Ford.
Ooh, okay. On that note, I am going to head to the bar and go pick up my friend's girlfriend. So because she's up there without a fucking car, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go do that. Have a few drinks.
All right, bye.
All right, man. Have fun.
See ya.
I will talk to y'all later. I may be back on later once I get her to fucking pass the hell out because I think she's being rowdy too.
Okay.
But if y'all are still going when I get back, cool. If not, I'll talk to y'all later.
All right.
No,
bye.
I just came across an article. I came across an article way too late. It was on August 31st. It was posted.
Oh,
But,
did you guys come across? This is one thing why I like Drudge Report, because Drudge, he manages to find these things that, you know, he's got like this sixth sense for it. There's this artist who's going to be doing this like show type thing in a park in New York where he's quote unquote building a wall. All it is a bunch. He made these special bricks so that they can literally be stacked, you know, like so many one way and then so many another way, and it works out to be a square. And he's putting stacks of these squares next to each other, and he's calling it a wall and a work of art. I saw this and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I saw your video on that. I watched it. It was I think you did a good video on that.
Oh, well, thank you. I just thought it was friggin' hilarious that, you know, yeah, I'm gonna stack these up, and the biggest irony is they're trying to make it sound like he was hands-on with the bricks, and you know he was just standing around going, I'm the artist, make the bricks.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. It's modern art. It's gone to pretty much complete shit. Modern art today is it's like a 5-year-old could do it.
That's actually giving these quote unquote artists too much credit.
Yeah, that's way too much credit. A 2-year-old could do better art than these people could. Partially because these people consider a blank canvas to be a work of art.
But yeah, like one painting or whatever, like there was in a PragerU video in which they had a background of in it to commenting on how modern art is complete crap now, and then the end of the video they say like this is a picture at some museum or whatever, and it just has like a dot or a line or whatever, I can't remember exactly, and that was it. There was nothing else on it.
Well, look at Andy Warhol. I mean, the guy painted Campbell soup cans.
Good.
I mean, just for that fact alone, and he is like known as kind of like the father of this postmodern crap, and it's literally crap. I mean, I just can't believe how they like can only survive on the fact of like the government tit. It's like, you know what? Let's, you know, leave art to like the free market, because if it's good, people will buy it. And none of the stuff that gets this money, anyone would buy. I mean, I would pay for someone to take it away.
Yeah, see, look here.
Oh, that's just crap.
That or that.
There's
It's all
a person
crap.
at my job was like, you know, you can get on government assistance or disability or whatever. I'm looking at him like, for what exactly? One, I can work. I'm in a position higher than you are. I make decent money. Why would I want to do that? It's, oh, well, everyone's doing it. I had to smack him. I'm sorry, but I just had to. Like, without thinking, my hand reared back, and I falcon punched him right in the face.
Ooh. Well, I mean, it's funny because like I have like some issues with my back, and I've been told the same thing, and I'm like, no, I can work. And I've done like some back-breaking labor, and it's like, yeah, if I can do that work with the issues I have, how many people are like, you know, milking this? And it just makes you wonder.
Like, that's the thing. A lot of people are claiming disability for being obese. I'm just like, are you serious? Like, I'm 6'6". I'm built like a truck, okay?
You sound like it.
So, I mean, yeah, I also have problems with my body as well. Back problems, neck problems, arm problems, all sorts of shit. But, you know, I work. and I work hard.
Yeah, I work 2 jobs, so I mean, I completely understand.
You know, so it's when people are creating excuses for the situation that they're in instead of finding ways to actually improve themselves. That's where I have a problem.
Well, what's messed up is everyone tries to, like, you know, find excuses on why they have their issues instead of accepting, you know, that it's, say, to a large extent, their choices in life, or how they like look at things, you know, all those type of factors. And they try to blame everyone else, and then they try to milk the system. And it's like, whatever happened to personal responsibility?
Right.
You know, I mean, like, I look at some people that I deal with professionally, and I just go, oh God, how the hell did they like survive beyond the fact of their parents, you know, keeping them under their wing these days? You just, it's weird that people now need to be coddled and handheld and treated like they're special. I think it's the participation trophy thing.
Oh man, you know, and I'm that age where I remember we got a trophy for winning, and I remember the transition to, oh, you came in last, don't feel bad, here's a trophy.
See, I remember that too. And the funny thing is I kind of was going into adulthood past that point. So when they started doing it, you know, you're a teenager and you're like, wait a minute, man, how the hell is the worst team in the little league, you know, because you know, your friends' little brothers and stuff are in little league, and you're like, how the hell did they get a trophy? Your brother sucks.
Right.
When did that happen? When the whole trend of getting a trophy for not winning, participation trophies, when did that start? When did that become a thing?
Kind of in the late 80s, early 90s.
Oh.
I'd say mid 90s to late 90s, because in my area, you sure as hell didn't get a trophy for participating. If you lost, it's like, hey, look, you lost. You know, if you hate it that much, work to be better.
Exactly. But see, also, to give you an idea, I'm from New England. I live in New Hampshire, and I know Massachusetts well. I deal with massholes consistently. Where New Hampshire is a small state, they cross the border for tax-free shit, and they're the participation generation, like personified. It was, I mean, because it was coming in back then, and I mean, I would look at, like, with Massachusetts, like that whole thing going on, and it's like, how the hell is this? You know, there's literally a line from Massachusetts to New Hampshire. Okay, at that point, so you would see like that participation trophy. You know, oh, you tried your best. You know, like coddling going on, and then you'd cross the border and be like, "Yeah, you lost. Deal with it. Suck it up." And it's just, it was funny to see that, because we managed to hold on in New Hampshire to not being politically correct and coddling and catering. And now I look at how it's changing here, and I'm like, God damn freaking border jumpers. They want to live in a bedroom community, and they're turning this freaking state into Massachusetts. What the hell? And it's getting worse here.
I mean, to be fair, New Hampshire is still very much so kind of the live free or die state of the Northeast. It's definitely the odd child out of that whole area.
Yeah, we're kind of the redheaded stepchild. You know, we try. But yeah, I mean, did you guys hear about the, I did a video on it, but I was just curious if you guys heard about it, how there was over 5,000 minimum out-of-state votes in New Hampshire that looked like they were never coming into the state to live. They signed up same day, registered same day, I mean, and voted.
Yeah, I watched your video on that as well.
I saw something on either Twitter or the Drudge Report about that. I'm not sure where I saw that, but I saw something else having to do with that. Which basically means that Trump probably would have won New Hampshire if that had not been the case, correct? Because he only lost by, what, a couple hundred votes?
It was a couple thousand. Him and Kelly Ayotte, it looks like both would have won.
Huh.
So, I mean, and now it's just funny watching the left go like full tilt into lunacy. I mean, anyone agree with that one?
Yes.
You know, I instantly knew when they were like, you know, saying, well, when, you know, like the idea of when the results are in, people are just going to move on with their lives, right? They're going to be nice. I'm like, yeah, right. In what universe when you guys lose? And sure enough, they went off the deep end, and it's just been getting worse and worse.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, life is progressively getting worse, not because of the situations we find ourselves in, but because the snowflakes decide to bitch and complain about every little thing that they're not getting catered to.
Oh, definitely. I'll agree there 100%. You know, it's like when you see like, it's like diva status. It's like every one of them thinks they're a diva.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like I don't know if you ever watched the show like like the show House Hunters. It's like half the international shows are like a 26 to 27-year-olds who are quote unquote tired of the rat race and want to go to Costa Rica and sell surfboards. And but the funny thing is they have a budget to rent a house of like $3,500 a month.
Like it's gone so far to where I've refrained from dating just because I don't have the 6 hours it takes to record a consent video and have them sign about 600 papers worth of consent forms.
Yeah, you almost literally need to have like you almost have to make your own homemade porn in order to protect yourself legally now.
You know, and let me tell you the amount. I'll tell you the one good thing that came out of this. The quality of the sunglasses that came out. Now I don't even see women.
Very true. You know, like I agree with you totally. I mean, the last woman I was dating, it was like seriously, don't date no offense to anyone who's Japanese, but a Japanese woman who comes here and gets Americanized and has been here for a while, because I'm in my 40s and she was a little bit older than me. Oh my God. They go from being the idea of like the conservative on their things to where like it's like dominant. And you're like, look, you explain to them, hey, look, I believe in equality, but you're not going to walk all over me here. And it's just like they become like American woman, like Godzilla.
Well, yeah, obviously they were Japanese first. The radiation hit them. Lots of that mutation.
But yeah, I mean, and it's like that with Asian women. I have an aunt who's Korean, and you know, she was a very proper Korean woman, and she got around my family, like my aunts and my mother, and oh God, she became like, you know, what is the Korean mutated monster? Do they have one? Because like she became it. You know, and I mean, the thing is like, I was raised equality, okay, across the board. So, you know, you're both sharing, you're both contributing. And I mean, if you got to take charge, like I've learned myself, like in certain situations, you got to do it, you know, because if you're both sitting there and, you know,
so
what I mean?
You're like equality straight across the board when it comes to relationships, not just life events.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, because my mother was, and she's disavowed herself as a feminist, but my mother, she was basically one of the, you know, primary, even though my father was in the picture, he wasn't per se, my grandfather was more of a father, but so it was more my mother and my grandmother raising me. And my mother was a quote unquote feminist back in the day, you know, with the burn the bra and all that, when it was kind of a thing. And she basically one day just was like, you know, with seeing how things have gone with third wave, said, I don't even know why I even consider myself one. And she raised me to be an egalitarian. She was like, I don't want, you know, you're a guy, you know, I don't want you to be a feminist because and she even said it's about the promotion of women. You know, you're a man. I want you to believe in equality on all levels. And that I look at it that way. But I mean, I've also learned,
I believe in equal opportunity, not equal outcome.
Right. Exactly.
You know, you know, you have the same opportunities as everyone around you. It is not our fault if you don't get the same standing as everyone else just because you didn't try just as hard.
Right, exactly. Like I look at are you guys keeping up with Kraut's implosion?
Kraut and Tea?
Yeah.
Which part? I might have missed something.
I was gonna say, what are you talking about with implosion?
He basically, ever since the whole live stream that he did with Andy Worski and Jeff Holiday and that, he's been on this quote unquote race realism debunking thing. Okay. And the funny thing is like he's going, I think it's his German guilt because of, you know, what happened with World War II. They browbeat this stuff into them, that this whole guilt complex thing. But he's literally ignoring science. So he finds this German geneticist for one of his latest videos, okay? And the German geneticist says that there is no reason whatsoever to believe or even look into the fact of a correlation between genetics and intelligence.
I take issue with the second part saying there's no reason to look into it. There's always reason to look into something. I mean, even if you disagree with it, yeah, knowledge is power. No knowledge is knowledge. I mean, there's no reason never not to look into something.
Right, exactly. And the funny thing is like, now, I'm not a race realist. I'm not alt-white, you know, alt-right or a white supremacist. I'm not even fully white. But I understand the concept of genetics. It's science. I mean, every little detail of us has a genetic driving force behind it. Eye color, hair color, your height, everything. So to say that intelligence does not have genetics as a factor is like trying to say, you know, well, yeah, anyone can, you know, be raised in a certain environment and get 160 IQ. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute. That's not how life works. That's not how science works. And like when you have James Watson, the expert, okay, on DNA and genetics. I mean, him and Watson were the ones who found the double helix. When he comes out and says that there is a correlation between genetics and intelligence, and this even includes ethnic background as a factor, they try to destroy his career. Now, to me, he's an actual expert. And I tried to bring him up with Kraut. And because Kraut can't refute, you know, him as an expert, Kraut like muted me on Twitter. And I'm like, what an asshole.
Yeah, I don't know. Kraut, like, I like him. I've watched quite a few of his videos. And I did not give a crap what he did to that woman screaming that stuff. That was, yeah, that her Rage After Storm. I did not care what he did. In fact, personally, I think it's a good thing. I don't think the UKIP party in Britain needs to have that part of it. But, you know, he occasionally treads on things that I don't like, and that's, you know, that's definitely one of them. Is that honestly, I haven't seen enough info to either approve or disapprove of the idea of race or ethnicity playing into IQ. I haven't seen enough, you know, info on either side that's not purposely done with a bias looking for a result. But I completely disagree with the fact that you should not look into something just because it, you know, makes you uncomfortable. That's not acceptable. That's not a reason whatsoever not to look into something. There never is a reason not to look into something.
Oh, no, exactly. And the thing is like, he's getting more and more defensive about it. Him and even Bunty King. Okay, Bunty King started white knighting for him because Coach Red Pill had brought up how Kraut was on this path of implosion and made a few predictions. And the funny thing is each of his predictions has pretty much come to fruition. So Bunty King went and did a shit post, like trying to imitate Coach Red Pill, and like it wasn't even remotely funny. Okay, and you just look at like Bunty's and Kraut's fans in the comment section, like saying how this was actually funny and stuff like that. And I'm like, wait a minute, Coach Red Pill didn't even bring up race realism. And they're trying to say that he's a race realist, and they're like attacking him. And I'm like, what's going on with the skeptic community? They're like losing their minds.
Well, you know, that happened too. If I'm not mistaken, it was a couple of videos ago, Sargon said that he was tired of the skeptic label. He had already said, he just picked it because it was the closest thing to what he believed in. But he says, well, if there was a better label to choose, he would choose it. And I most definitely am not a skeptic. I have a lot of disagreements with the general idea of skepticism.
I disagree with everyone. No, I'm just kidding. Praise God.
Well, it's funny. Optimus, I gotta say, man, you sound kind of like Seth Rogen. No offense, but you do.
Oh God, I've had that done so many times. I would rather go with John Goodman. Come on.
I thought he sounded like the guy that did the literal trailers on YouTube.
The Don. In a world where no one gives a shit. One man, one machine, decide to take on the entire world of fascist, leftist, liberal feminists.
It's funny. I bet you he went, Mom, I want a job in Hollywood. And she went, with that voice, you're never going to have a career.
Sixth grade. Hey, how's it going? Okay, I'm going to go fap now.
The way you just raised your voice like that, have you ever seen the deleted scene? I think it's from the third Terminator movie where they're talking about modeling the Terminator after this perfect soldier, and they got Arnold dressed up in like this special forces uniform type setup, and he's on a treadmill, and he's like, "Hi, I'm Sergeant Smiley." They
I have seen that. I have. I am a big fan of the Terminator series, except for Revelation and Genesis. Those two sucked ass.
Well, okay, if you got to rate them in order, it's like of best to worst. T2 definitely is first.
T2 definitely the first. T1 would come after that. T3, it's kind of a hit or miss, just because John Connor's a different actor that time. But Salvation, no, Christian Bale should die.
Oh, come on, he did play Batman pretty damn good.
All you have to do is just swallow mothballs and boom, you're Batman. And then there's Genesis, right? Where they got this stupid stepbrothers looking fuck as John Connor. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? And it turns out he's the enemy, like the ultimate enemy. And it started fucking with timelines and shit. I don't like that. Okay, this isn't Back to the Future. This is Terminator.
Yeah, but the thing is you know what was actually worse than that one? The fact that a Time Lord turned out to be Skynet.
Yeah. Yeah. So there we go. Now, next movie, it's a Doctor Who versus Terminator.
So what is he just going to sonic him and like his arm's going to fall off?
No. Turns out that he's going to sonic him, and then the Terminator is going to actually turn into the ship.
Oh, God. It's going to go.
And that's where the noise comes from. I mean, and I swear if they make that a thing, I'm going to shoot people.
Well, watch. Some idiot in Hollywood was probably listening to the stream, and we just started the whole thing with that.
Oh, man.
Hey, if you guys, you constitutionalist and Southern, if you guys talk in the chat, I can give you guys wrenches if you want.
Yeah, okay.
Just type in the regular chat.
In which chat?
The YouTube chat, just not our group chat, just the chat. I don't know. I
don't have a YouTube channel, so.
Oh.
If you have a Google account, it works the same way.
Yeah, I just made this account to be on here.
Yeah, if you type in the chat, it'll pop up with your name, Southern, and then your avatar. Because YouTube no longer has its own separate login. It's linked to Google now. So
right.
If you have a Google account, and if you type in a chat, like like say right here.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out because I only have the actual Hangouts open.
You would actually have to go to the video or to the stream on YouTube and then type in the chat. There's a link for it.
Oh, you put it out? Okay, never mind.
Yep.
Thank you. Appreciated.
Not the problem. Yeah, see, I'm a constant streamer, so I'm not only am I playing the game, I'm paying attention to the bit rate, I'm paying attention to the upload, I'm paying attention to the chat. So much stuff going on. And by the way, if you do a lot of that stuff and you don't have time to advertise across multiple platforms, Hootsuite gets it done.
I'll have to, if you can tweet me a link to that, I would definitely appreciate it.
Oh, actually, I cannot type in the chat because I don't actually have an actual channel, YouTube channel. Even with an account, it won't let me type in the chat.
Are you signed into YouTube itself?
Yep.
Huh.
Here. Wait a minute. Just send that out in the chat.
All right, you tit fuckers. For those of you watching, go follow that guy.
Yeah, you should follow us. Constitution, do you want to put your Twitter in the feed?
Yeah. I got to get to it. Just give me 1 second here.
And then I'm going to put mine out there just because I don't want to feel out of the group. So
Join the dark side. We have cookies.
welcome to the dark side, where your fart box gets dick punched consistently.
But seriously, how do you get your voice to sound like you're a robot? Are you using a voice changer, or is it just like your mic?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's all me.
Yeah. Smoking will definitely help you on getting the gravel voice.
Yeah, and I smoke a lot.
If it wasn't for vaping, I'd still be smoking.
Have you used the vaping to like get off of the tobacco or something?
Yeah, I've been tobacco free for 3 years in November, and I vape for my nicotine. I like the nicotine. I'm not about to give that up. But the worst part is the oral fixation part of it. If I'm like driving, like if I'm sitting in the house, I can set down my vaping stuff and not worry about it. But if I'm in a car, forget about it. It's like it's like chain vaping because I used to chain smoke when I drove.
So is it like a very low nicotine amount? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I've stepped myself down. I mean, I started when the equipment wasn't as efficient. So, I mean, I started with a really high nicotine level. And between changing the equipment I use, like like say dripping or a tank, by progressing with the technology and weaning myself off, I've gone down to 3 milligrams, which isn't that much.
Yeah, because I know like PragerU has talked about how the vaping stuff is a good thing for people because it can help them get off of tobacco and everything. And they're completely pro vaping in a sense for being able to use it to help people get off of the tobacco, sort of wean themselves off.
Well, if you want to know if something's good for quitting smoking, if a master settlement state is against it, then you know it's good. Which California and Massachusetts, both master settlement states, are like anti-vaping. They're trying to shut it down because they need that tobacco money, and they know it works for people quitting. So like Massachusetts has done so much on the note of trying to stop people from vaping, like stopping the fact of in the vape shops, people vaping to sampling, just all this stuff to try to stop it. And like using this propaganda that California kind of initiated, saying how it was worse and all this other stuff. And if it's a state doing that type of stuff, just look for the tobacco master settlement information online. Odds are they were literally one of the states that settled with the tobacco companies.
The moment when you're programming and you run it and everything works as it should be and you question your own sanity.
I've been there. I used to code.
Oh, I still do. So I just ran this through the compiler and I'm like, okay, it works. What did I do wrong?
What language you work in?
Yes. I'm looking at every single one of them just because I'm not going to be left behind. I am actively making myself indisposable to any company that would want to one up the company that I currently work at now.
See, that's one thing. Like I don't know if you're noticing it, where you do work in the IT industry and that. But if you notice how it's been now, seeing the outsourcing thing going on with it.
Mm-hmm. That's why you got to really make yourself indispensable or indisposable.
I can't wait until those people that are doing the outsourced work, English as a second language types with no commenting, totally screw up these companies' code. And then they come back to like good old USA going, can you fix this? And a lot of people are just going to go, no, screw you. You made your bed, lie in it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The moment when you're working on a few big projects and you accidentally transfer code from one to the other and don't even realize it. And you can't pinpoint it until 3 months later.
Oh, I've never done anything like that. Thank God.
Here's a note for when you're working on projects. Do one at a time.
Yeah, that kind of helps. Like one thing I remember, because like I was doing it during the whole .com days, and it got to a point for me. All these people were going to your 2-year colleges, and they would get like a web design certificate or a web programming certificate, which basically all they learned is Dreamweaver. And it got to the point of where people that were looking to have web work done, they didn't realize that Dreamweaver just lets you build a front end, so you end up competing for people, and it's like, I'm gonna end up making $10 an hour on this job. I could go work a line cooking for 15. Screw that.
Yeah, if you're only working on the front end and you have no idea about the back end, you're pretty much fucked.
Right. And I mean, I would try to explain that, like when the .com bubble thing, was at the point of about to burst, and even after it burst and things are going down, there was still work out there. And it's like, they know Dreamweaver. I know how to code the stuff by hand. I know how to do CGI. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's what you're going to need for this. Well, mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they're going to do it for less. I'm like, okay, fine. And it got to a point where I literally had to just say, you know what, I got to change professions, because I was making like $10 an hour if I bid a job by the time everything was said and done. And it's like, why the hell am I going to work for $10 an hour?
Right. Yeah, no, I totally agree, because that's why I'm diversifying my knowledge.
Now, what languages do you know at this point?
Well, I am now getting back into HTML5, but there's C# and then there's, of course, like the whole basic stuff that you're going through. But yeah, I know what language I'm going to be fluent in currently. It's called drunk.
Yeah, like the languages I'm most familiar with are your front-end web languages Java, and Lua. And I've come to learn some PHP just from stuff I had to work on.
And lately, Java is being outdated.
Yeah, Java's definitely not. I mean, it's still
HTML5 is replacing Java.
Yeah, especially on the web front. Java's still in the top categories of languages, but it's definitely not like where all the hype is anymore.
Yeah, until it's no longer supported.
Yeah,
I think Java is still going to have a place. It's going to be more for like your front end type of stuff, but I don't say kiosk and stuff like that, say point of sale systems, but I don't see it going beyond that anymore.
Yeah, I think part of the problem with Java is that when it came into being, it was a language that, it fulfilled a purpose that went so far beyond something like C++, where you could build it and run it anywhere. Well, now most languages do that. I mean, unless you go to C or C++.
I was just about to say, I've dealt with C++ between Windows and Linux, and it's a nightmare.
Yes. But I mean, otherwise, languages like Python, Lua.
If you do C++ and you're trying to cross-platform, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah.
Well, that could be one reason why my hairline started receding back 20 years ago.
Because you kept pulling your hair out?
Pretty much. I just helped it along in the beginning. But yeah, I mean, I have a friend, and he does like the whole Arduino, Raspberry Pi thing. And
I have multiple Raspberry Pis. I have 2 at least in the room with me right now.
And he's like a mad scientist with the stuff, and he just orders like all this stuff off of Adafruit, and it'll show up, and he just starts slapping stuff together, and he just when he gets into it, he kind of reminds me of Rain Man. It's just like he goes like full autistic and just starts messing around. And one day he's like, "You got to check this out," and he's got this magnetic levitation thing that he's built, and I'm like, dude, why the hell are you working a menial job when you do stuff like this? You've got this knowledge. Go put it to use. I mean, literally, he'll just be like, I'll show up to hang out, and he's like, "You got to check out this new project." And he'll show me, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. And I'm like, dude, you do backbreaking work, and you got a brain. Use it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now with the Raspberry Pi, he handed me one, and it's been sitting here, and it's like, I could load Linux on it and I could use it, or I've got something that's way more powerful. I just haven't found a use for it myself.
I actually have 3 of them. One sits on my wall and it's a weather station. One sits attached to my network and it's an ad blocker. And the third sits in my bedroom attached to a TV and it's a media center.
Well, the media center I thought about, but it's an older Pi, so it's kind of weak. But the ad blocker is actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah, there's a specific program called Pi-hole, if I remember the name correctly. You can get from GitHub.
Got your Pi-hole.
But it blocks ads on the whole network for all users, whether they have an ad blocker installed or not.
So it just connects up, it doesn't run say inline. It literally just connects into your router, and it somehow is able to pull the ads out, or? Yeah,
basically what it does is it acts as a DNS server for your network, so it runs the traffic through a Pi, and it has a whole list that's constantly updated of the list for ad IP addresses, and it blocks those addresses from ever showing up. So on a page, those ads will just never load. It'll just be a blank space over on the side of the page.
Huh. That's definitely better than ad blocking in, say, Opera.
Yeah, or installing an ad blocker that then something like, Reuters or Forbes will then tell you that you have to turn it off to go to the site.
Oh, God, I hate that, because even if you turn it off with them,
it at least still stays on there.
Yeah.
I even tried to install user scripts that would try to disable that, and it still didn't work.
I think there's just it's able to see that you have an ad blocker.
Yes, because plugins are publicly shown somehow. I'm not sure how, but I know that's one way that, for one thing, websites can track you is the plugins you have, but somehow or other they're able to see which ones you have. And if they see it's an ad blocker, then it just keeps it on there.
But they tell you to disable the ad blocker.
Yeah,
that's messed up. They're telling you to disable it. So you say, okay, you disable it. And then it's like, nope, you can't access the site because you still have an ad blocker.
Yep.
I think they just want you to get rid of the damn thing.
They do. That's kind of the whole insinuation is you're supposed to get rid of it.
You know, at least I'm starting to see ads on that type of idea coming back to YouTube. On like sites on creators I didn't expect to see it. Like I saw one on Sargon.
Yeah, well, funny for me at least. The only ads I ever saw on like Sargon and some of the other channels was the government non-smoking ads. Just play over and over and over again. Anytime I clicked on video, it's the same ad of the guy with a rotten face.
Oh God! On that idea, do you know one? And do any of you watch Steven Crowder?
Yeah, I watch him.
You know, he is so right about the fact of what he was saying about the Muslim dating sites. For the longest time, I would go to watch him, and I would literally see an ad for a Muslim dating site.
I never saw any of those.
And I'd be looking at this going, why the hell are they serving a Muslim? How many Muslims are going to watch Steven Crowder?
Oh, I have a better one than that. If you ever look up a video that's criticizing Scientology, the ad that plays in the video is an ad for Scientology. and it does it consistently too. Anytime you look at a video that is critical of Scientology, the ad that plays is a Scientology ad. And it's the only time I ever see them on YouTube.
And to me, that sounds like we've got, besides the liberal left bias at YouTube, we have the Scientology bias.
Well, probably. YouTube's in California. That's where Scientology's headquarters is.
Very true. You know what's messed up about the whole Scientology thing? When L. Ron Hubbard came up with it, he was literally in a United States military hospital in their loony bin.
It shows.
You cannot make something like that up.
And he proceeds to build a religion out of his fictional writing.
And what's funny is on that idea, and I think it kind of rubbed off, Gene Roddenberry knew L. Ron Hubbard, and at one point he even talked about how he could create a religion, and I'm just thinking, you really did, because Star Trek has become a religion that the left is corrupted and is trying to say is space communism now. Thank you very much.
Well, yeah, did you also see the thing on the Drudge Report where they're going to depict Trump supporters as Klingons?
What?
Yes. Yes.
I'm sorry, but that is freaking hilarious.
Wait a minute. I'm going to get the link up to show it. Hopefully it's still on here.
Well, what's funny is speaking of that whole Star Trek thing, there is this guy, he came up in my feed and he was talking about like the whole thing of Discovery, which I got to say STD is an appropriate friggin' abbreviation for it. And so he goes on this whole thing about how, Star Trek is like, a social justice, like, example of social justice going right. And I'm like, no. So I literally, in a comment, explained to him, and I was trying to be nice about it. I explained to him, I said, look, no, because it's an egalitarian society. It's equality of opportunity, not equality of outcome. And I used examples, and I said, okay, because here's the thing. I said, now, do you want Scotty to be the engineer of the Enterprise because, one, he's the best, because he's either the best engineer person for the job, he's the best engineer in Starfleet, or two, because he's an alcoholic and they can't fire him? Okay. And then, you know, I brought up, because he had brought up in the video, like with Nichelle Nichols and O'Hara. And I'm like, so do you want her to be the communications officer because she was the best person for the job and has this ability with languages? Or do you want her to be the communications officer of the Enterprise because she's a black woman? So I lay all this out for him. Okay. He ended up turning around and did this whole video. He didn't even like, you know how if you're going to do like, you know, a video, you're going to take like, say, the person's comment and you're going to put it there and then you're going to go through it. He didn't do that. He completely misrepresented me. And then he goes, yeah, I did a rebuttal, or I hit video on you or something like that, and sent a, like went on one of my videos, found me out, like, and like was going on like this commenting thing. And then he put, well, yeah, I just totally destroyed you type thing. And I go and I look and I'm like, okay, you just completely misrepresented everything I said. And I'm just like, what the hell is this? I mean, if you're going to do a video, if I'm going to like, cause my stuff is mostly news content. Okay. That's pretty much what it's been to this point. But if I'm going to do a video like that, I'm going to show people what I'm speaking about. I'm not just gonna say, well, this guy did this and he said this. And I'm like, oh my God, he made me sound like the world's worst asshole. Like, one thing I pointed out was, like, you look at the Klingons. I don't understand how, like, they're going to equate them to Trump supporters. But he's like, well, if you, like, give them hair and you kind of look at them in the right angle, they look like the old Klingons. It's like, dude, no, they don't, because they have this thing of licensing. So that's why they look like they're burn victims. I mean, hell, they paid through the nose just to have the Tribble in the second Star Trek movie.
So they're trying to make Klingons out to be some kind of as Trump supporters or something, you're saying?
Yeah, see, look right here, if you can see the article I brought up.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, right. Here. The Klingons are going to help us look at certain sides of ourselves and our country, explain Harbert's isolation is a big thing. Racial purity is a big thing. The Klingons are not the enemy, but they do have a different view of things. In this way, the conflict at the Heart of Discovery will be informed by the political divide in the real world.
Okay. Well, with how bad they think it's going to be at CBS, they already have a new script, and they've set the groundwork for, if this bombs, they're going to say it's like, oh God, what the hell is that show on FX there? Where each season's a new story. The horror show, whatever the hell. American Horror Story.
Yeah, that. What about that show?
They're already expecting Star Trek Discovery to bomb. So what they did is they said, and this got leaked, is they got an actual guy who's familiar with Trek to write a script, and they're already prepared to say that they had planned from the beginning for this to be like American Horror Story, and it's going to be one season and then a different season, something different. And they're so desperate right now that they're looking for any way to bail their asses out with that.
Sort of like the new Star Trek that they're trying to make.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, with Star Trek Discovery, they're literally like, they know it's going to bomb because it's.
I am a Trekkie, so I took a look into it and I was like, oh, cool, let's see what it's going to be about. And I wanted to shoot everyone.
Thank you. I'm not the only like Trek person who felt that way.
I'm not even a Trekkie, and it seems annoying to me.
So wait, what they're trying to do is trying to portray Trump supporters as the Klingons, and saying,
well, what they're doing, okay, and in the Star Trek with William Shatner, it was based on like the Cold War, where the different alien races were based on the different races of the U.S. As a matter of fact.
Yeah, the Klingons were the Russians.
The Romulans were Koreans.
Yeah.
Then the Vulcans were
Or like the Japanese or
Japanese.
Koreans.
You know, then you have America as the, you know, as the equal outcome people. You know, and, and it's just based on real life circumstances around. You know, that's all Star Trek's ever been. Is they put a sci-fi spin to socio-political events at that time.
And so they're trying to portray the Klingons as Trump supporters and that they're in the wrong. And is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. But this time it's not so subtle as with, you know, like the Next Generation or even before that. You know,
it was much more subtle if the
it was
politics.
much more, yeah, it was much more subtle. Now they're just flat out feminists, you know, social justice warrior bullshitting it.
Oh yeah, like some other shows, like the Madam Secretary show that's completely leftist. It's and also I think the newest season, I don't know if it's out yet, like of Jack Bauer's gone completely SJW.
Doctor Who is this season doing the same. This upcoming season going to be doing the same thing, but since what's his face left and Moffat took over, he slowly brought the SJW progressive feminist stuff in, and this new guy is just taking it from there and going in the deep end.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, and what's funny is they're like, well, it's canon that that Time Lords can regenerate to different genders. Yeah, but it was added by Moffat. It was never in the original canon. So you try to explain that, and because Moffat is like their man, well, he made it canon. Yeah, but he went against how many decades of Doctor Who to do it? And they just look at you like once Moffat took over, I literally was just like, I'm done with it. And I mean, when the reboot of Doctor Who started, I loved it. I was like, this is actually good. This isn't that shitty 1950s and 60s stuff. This is actually like good. And after, like, you know, Matt Smith came in and Moffat had taken over, I'm like, wow, okay, more progressive stuff, more SJW stuff. Okay, we're gonna bring that in and propagandize. And I just was like, no, I'm done. You know, it's like good sci-fi is hard to come by now.
And recently a good sci-fi that I came across that, my personal opinion, isn't social justice warrior related is actually Dark Matter.
I haven't seen it. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. Oh, it's as a matter of fact, I think season 3 just ended. And
one of my favorite sci-fi.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say one of my favorite sci-fi shows. It's not on anymore, but it's a bit old now. Was Stargate.
I love Stargate.
Okay, so in order, what is your favorite?
I like all of the original Stargate. After that, then the Atlantis is okay. It's pretty good, but
come on!
Makes Atlantis.
Oh my god! McKay is just badass in that. I don't care how nerdy he gets.
Oh God, McKay is the shit in it. I mean, some of my favorite episodes have to be the McKay episodes.
By the way, the guy that plays McKay is also in Dark Matter.
I was going to say,
okay, that's why it sounded familiar.
Anyways, I like the Stargate Atlantis in the original Stargate, but the Stargate universe, that was complete shit.
Come on. Okay, look, I can admit that the way that they handled it, the first season was complete shit. It was so slow taking off.
It was starting.
It ended before it could actually shine, because at the end of that one, at the end of the second season, it was just getting good.
Oh yeah, at the end, the second season was getting good, but the first one was complete shit.
I mean, I was expecting
Like I was like, I can't wait for it. Then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, this is discontinued. I'm like, fuck you, you social justice warrior fuckers.
Well,
you know, they started.
I was just gonna say, you know what's funny is like you're talking about the first season. The network sent so many notes down as they were filming it that like you can just like you can almost tell when they got a note from like the execs in the network, you know, because like all of a sudden something would change about like the first season from episode to episode.
Yeah.
You know, it was, and they finally found a way to bridge the gap between the new audience they were trying to get and the old audience with like the Stones and getting, you know, say McKay to actually come out to the Destiny, you know, having O'Neill come out to the Destiny so that you could have those core characters there. Okay. They were able to, because their ratings actually started to do better because of stuff like that. And to see it get canceled, I was the same way because like, you know, I said, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I'll watch the first season, and it got better as you got to the end of the first season. And I was like, I'm looking forward to the second season. And then, like you said, just canceled it. I mean, I'm kind of pissed that they never did the Atlantis movies because I wanted to see what they were going to do with that.
Oh yeah, I would have liked to see.
Well, to be honest, like I watched all the way through Atlantis as well, and they didn't give it any room for, you know, movies. They explained everything as it was in the series itself, even ending the series with Atlantis coming to Earth.
Well, if you actually want to know a bit more, there is actually, I think, a book or a couple books that go after the show and everything that sort of wrap up the whole thing with the Wraith.
Yeah, let's see, because that was what they were supposed to do in the movies is wrap up the thing, and it's like, okay, did they?
And the replicators.
Well, that too. Which you got to give them credit because somehow they managed to bring replicators into Atlantis as well.
Only a more sophisticated version than SG-1.
But it also, if you think about it, gave you an explanation to how the replicators were actually created in the Milky Way. It was it had to have been by an ancient.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, because initially replicators were created to, if I'm not mistaken, defeat the Goa'uld.
Well, no, they were actually made as a children's toy. The android there that O'Neill shot, that Jackson was trying to talk down, Reese, or what was her name? God, I'm trying to think, but she had said how they were created as a toy and she had created it as a toy and she was linked to them. And she kind of went off the deep end. They kind of, you know, she's controlling them type thing. And yeah, because she created a replicator and it started replicating and taking over the base.
Oh, yeah, okay. And then, yeah, so that initial one. So then there's technically two different versions of replicators. The more advanced ones, we're talking about ancients created them as well. But those were for the purpose of defeating the Wraith.
Oh, yeah. Those were for defeating the Wraith.
And then, you know, the one code that they had in their programming was that they couldn't defeat any of the ancients. Or they couldn't.
Until Rodney McKay came around.
Until Rodney McKay came around and deleted that baseline code for aggressive tendencies. Like, yeah, this will get them towards the Wraith. Well, guess what? They can't obliterate the Wraith, so they obliterate the food source. And
it actually led to two of the best episodes, I think, out of Stargate Atlantis. The retaking of Atlantis, like the part 1 and part 2 of that, where they come back.
Yeah, at the very end of the Stargate Atlantis, where they bring it full running up in power, then they take it back over and it finally lands on Earth.
Well, yeah, like O'Neill and Woolsey are there to negotiate with the ancients that they rescued, and the replicators. come and they're like, "Oh yeah, we can just go up there and tell them we've taken control of Atlantis," and they'll turn around. And you got O'Neill talking to them at Stargate Command, and they had sent a message out, after it, and the replicators had come, and because of that whole thing of rewriting their base code, they went, "Oh, we can't attack you? Sure, okay, open fire," and destroy the ancients. So I mean, one of my favorite O'Neill lines is when the replicators find him in the submerged level, and he had come up. "What were you doing down there?" "The breaststroke."
Yeah.
Yeah. So the link that I just put in there is a link to a site that has almost every single series of everything, almost every movie, new, upcoming, and old, on there that you can live stream without having to download.
Did you put it in the chat on YouTube or?
No, on the side chat.
Okay, let me open up the side chat.
That's where I access dark matter from.
Have you seen Stargate Southern?
No, I've seen. Actually, I take that back. I saw the movie, but I've never actually seen the series itself.
Oh, you should.
It's definitely worth a watch.
The series is much better than the original movie. At least in my opinion, I think the series is much better.
They have their own merits separately. Like the movie itself is, if you're looking for like a good popcorn flick, okay, definitely worth the watch, especially the director's cut. But if you want like good hardcore episodic, even what do they call it when you have your stories running over like say a season, that thing that they're doing now, because they started to actually do that with like Atlantis and even SG1 as they got later in the seasons, where episodes had linked to each other. It wasn't like you're one episode and done, or a two-parter. It was, they started to have a story that went across the whole season.
Oh, why is there two robots?
Oh, my page shorted out. I had to reload.
Huh.
Okay, I thought I was seeing double for a second. And I'm not even drinking.
I forgot what I was gonna say. But yeah, if you watch Stargate, the show, it's got action, it's got some drama, and it's also got some of the comedy in it. Lighthearted feel to it, which I always liked, the lightheartedness, and it still had action and it still got serious at points, which I just thought was so good, especially when I was a kid watching it with my family. I just liked that show so much.
Yeah, the Showtime seasons of it are more drama driven, and then when it moved to sci-fi, the drama became, it was still part of it, but it wasn't as drama driven.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and for those that actually like movies and shit like that, every so often I'm about to post another link. That's sort of on like an online movie theater where I show the movies and whatnot, and everyone I think up to 25 people can watch at a time.
How is that even remotely legal?
Rabbit,
it's just sharing. It's just sharing the thing.
But doesn't that violate the public exhibition thing of like copyright law?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not legal. Rabbit, I know, because Sargon's used it to share.
Well, the thing is that what it was meant for was like for sharing YouTube videos between people, but me being more program inclined can find ways around that.
So you can show Netflix if you wanted to.
I could, yes, I could show like the solar movies, like what I showed you before. As a matter of fact, I'm about to hop into my room on that, and then Where is it? Here we go.
Oh, speaking of Stargate, did you guys hear how they're remaking it?
Oh yeah, I've heard they're remaking it into I think a series of movies, wasn't it?
Well, basically they're rebooting a movie, and then it's okay. It's so messed up. You got the guys who did the original movie are working on this reboot, but they're stealing aspects from the TV show and they're adding them to their movie. But when the TV show came out or when it was in development, they were asked to come work on the show, to be like the showrunners, to be the guys that would dictate the series. And they went, no, you're hacking it. Now they're going to steal from the people that they said was hacking their product. And it's like, are you like that full of yourself now that you said that, but now you can't come up with your own original concept, so you're going to take from them? So, I mean, I'm wondering what it's going to turn out to be, because are we going to have the O'Neill with 1 L or 2 L's?
2 L?
It's a running joke from SG1 where O'Neill goes 2 L's because the O'Neill in the movie only had 1 L.
Oh, I was a kid when I watched it, so I probably missed some of those kind of...
Like when they would be like, you're going to be in trouble, he'd be like, the name's O'Neill with 2 L's.
Like if you click on the Reddit link, I can show you what the site looks like for the streaming videos and shit.
Hey, y'all, I'm fixing to head on off here.
Well, you have a good night then, Southern.
Okay.
Hey,
Night.
thanks, y'all. Y'all too. Great stream, by the way, Rational.
Thanks.
Yeah, if I've
All right.
monopolized it, I want to apologize.
No, not at all.
That's fine.
Not at all. It was wonderful. All right, y'all have a good night.
You too, Southern.
Have a good one.
Night, Southern.
God, I haven't heard y'all like, because I used to live in Louisiana for a bit, and to hear it with the drawl, it's definitely a change.
Well, I do live in that part of the country, so
Yeah, I actually by the Texas border. Just to give you an idea, if you're familiar with that part of the area of Louisiana, a big lake with a channel into it, and a bunch of chemical companies. Lake Charles.
That's it. Yes. Yep. I was. I'm familiar with the region.
I saw how it got hit, and I went, "Thank God I moved back to New England." Harvey
All right.
gave it a pummeling.
Yeah, and Irma's giving Florida a pummeling.
So who's in the room right now for Rabbit?
I'm in Rabbit, I think. Oh wait.
All right.
Oh wait a minute.
I'm heading out.
Yeah, okay.
Bye, y'all.
Have a good one,
Southern.
Southern.
Yeah, this is the site that I was talking about.
So it's a video sharing site or something?
It's one of those ones where people upload like TV series and movies.
Well, technically, I already did my workaround for it. So now it's like I'm accessing full-blown websites instead of just little widgets and shit.
Yeah, Solar Movies is a good one. Oh God, there was something .it that's changed their
And
address.
Also, if you're into anime,
Oh, I like anime.
I'm getting into it a bit more now. When I was younger, I wasn't into it. Like, I mean, I love animation, but anime, I don't know. There was just something that didn't appeal to me when I was younger, but now that I'm older, I'm actually finding it like really cool. Have either of you seen the reboot of Voltron on Netflix?
Oh yeah, I've seen I think the first 2 seasons of it or something.
I have to give them credit. I mean, even though it's got some social justice stuff in it, it's actually pretty good. I was like expecting it to ruin my childhood.
like now I can share all the anime stuff that everyone wants to watch, movies on this one.
You definitely did a good work around here, man.
Well, I think we've been on the stream for a while. I think I'm going to close it out. So, my name is Rational Outlaw, and follow me on all my social media. And why don't you guys say your names?
Constitutionalist Libertarian.
Optimus Christ, because Jesus can't turn into a truck. Remember to praise Doug, and Autobots, lick my ass.
Well, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all next week. Bye, y'all.
Have a good one.